The girl in the alley. It was a cold night. The sky was dark, and the rain fell slowly, drop by drop. The city lights blinked like broken stars. Tall buildings stood like silent giants. Neon signs flickered. The streets were empty. No one wanted to be outside, but one small figure moved in the darkness. A young girl, no older than 10, walked slowly through a dirty alley. Her clothes were torn. Her feet were bare. She was shaking from the cold. Her thin arms hugged her small body, trying to stay warm. She stopped near a trash bin and began searching inside. Her hands were weak, but she kept looking. Old paper, broken plastic, empty cans, nothing useful. Then she found a piece of cloth. It was wet and dirty, but she wrapped it around herself. Her teeth were chattering. She looked up and around. No one was watching, or so she thought. From the shadows, someone was watching. A man stood still, hidden behind a wall. He wore a long, black coat. His face was rough, with a short beard. His eyes were sharp. He had seen many things in his life. Wars, machines, death. But this girl, alone and scared, made him stop. He stepped forward slowly, making sure not to scare her. The girl heard footsteps. She turned quickly, ready to run. Her eyes were wide with fear. The man raised his hand slowly. "Wait," he said. His voice was calm, deep. She didn't move. She was breathing fast. Her back touched the wall. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said again. Then, he took something from his coat. A silver blanket. It was thin, but warm-military-grade. He gently placed it over her shoulders. She didn't say anything. Her small hands held the blanket tightly. She looked at the man with scared, tired eyes. "What's your name?" he asked. She didn't answer. "You alone still?" Silence. He looked at her carefully. Her skin had a soft glow. Very faint. Most people would not notice, but he did. Something was different about her. He took a step back, giving her space. "My name is Ryan," he said. "You don't have to trust me, but I can help you." The girl finally whispered. Lyra. Rayon nodded. "Nice to meet you, Lyra." Suddenly, a loud sound echoed from the far side of the alley. A metal door slammed shut. Lyra jumped. She grabbed Rayon's coat. "Are they coming?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Who?" Rayon asked. Serious now. She looked around, then pointed to the sky. "Drones. I saw one yesterday. They're looking for me." Rayon's eyes narrowed. "Why?" "I don't know," she said. I just ran." Something wasn't right. He could feel it. This was not just a lost child. He looked around. No drones yet. But they could come anytime. "We need to move," he said. "I know a safe place. Not far." Lyra didn't move. He bent down. "Listen, you don't have to come. But if you stay here, they might find you. I've seen what they do to kids like you." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand. I'm not like other kids." He nodded slowly. "I know." She looked at him again. For a moment, there was silence between them. Then he stood up and held out his hand. "Come home," he said quietly. Lyra looked at his hand, then at the empty alley, then at the blanket around her. She took his hand. Together, they walked into the night, the rain falling softly on the metal streets. Somewhere in the shadows, a small red light blinked. They were being watched. Stranger with secrets. The safe house was not a house. It was hidden underground, beneath an old train station that no longer had trains. Dust covered the broken signs. Nature had started to take over roots and weeds. Pushed through the cracks in the floor, Ryan opened a metal door, using a small device on his wrist. The lock made a soft beep, then clicked open. "Inside," he said. Lyra hesitated at the entrance. It was dark and smelled like old wires and oil. She looked up at Rayan. He gave her a small nod. She stepped inside. The door closed behind them. Inside, it was quiet. Only the sound of humming machines filled the air. Dim lights flickered above. The room was full of strange objects, old tech, screens, and small glowing orbs floating in glass jars. Lyra's eyes wandered. She had never seen anything like it. "This used to be a supply station," Rayan explained. "Now, it's just mine." He walked to a table and placed a small box on it. It opened with a soft hiss, revealing hot soup. He handed it to Lyra. She stared at it for a moment, then began to eat slowly. "You've been out there a long time, haven't you?" Rayan asked. Lyra nodded without looking up. Rayan watched her. Something in her body was different. Not just the glow. Her skin healed fast. Her breathing was steady even in the cold. She looked human. "But I've seen a lot of people in this city," Rayan said. But I've never seen someone like you. Lyra paused. I didn't ask to be different. Rayan was quiet for a moment. He stood up and went to a scanner on the wall. It looked like a round mirror with light rings. Around it, stand here, he said. Lyra hesitated again. It won't hurt, he added. I just want to see something. She walked slowly to the scanner. The lights turned green and began to scan her body. A soft buzzing filled the room. Then the machine beeped loudly. Red lights flashed. Error. Classified entity. Access denied. Rayon's face changed. That's not supposed to happen, he said softly. Lyra stepped back, scared. Did I break it? No, Rayan said, more to himself than to her. You blocked it. He walked to a computer and tried to open the scan results. The screen turned black. A message appeared. File locked. Government level red. Do not attempt. Rayan's hands froze. He looked at Lyra. Who are you? She looked at the floor. I don't know. I just ran. From where I remember, white walls, bright lights, people in suits, needles, machines, and screaming. Her voice cracked on the last word. I escaped through a vent. I think someone helped me. A woman. I can't remember her face. But she told me to run and not look back. Rayan felt something stir inside him. Not fear, but purpose. You were in a lab, he said. Lyra nodded. They said I was subject. 9B. That's all I know. He sat down, rubbing his forehead. They were making something, or someone. He looked at her again. You're not just a child, Lyra. You're something they built, or grew, or changed. Lyra hugged herself. Am I bad? No, Rayan said firmly. You're not bad. But someone out there thinks you're dangerous. Suddenly, a red light blinked on a panel near the door. Motion detected. Rayan stood up fast. He grabbed a long device from the wall. It was a railgun, old, but strong. He turned to Lyra. Hide behind the shield crate. Don't move. Don't speak. She ran and hid as he said. The door lock clicked. Someone was trying to break in. Rayan pointed the gun. Silence. Then the lock stopped. Rayan waited. Nothing happened. He slowly stepped forward and opened a side monitor. Outside the door, a drone hovered. In the air, it had no weapon, but its red eye glowed. Before Rayan could react, the drone exploded. Lyra screamed from her corner. He ran to her. It's okay. You're safe. She looked at him, scared. They found me. Again, Rayan looked at the smoke. Outside the door, his face hard. They won't stop, he said. He walked back to the control panel. I need to find out who made you, and why. Before they come with something bigger than a drone, he turned to her. You said you don't remember much, right? Lyra nodded. Maybe your mind forgot, but your body didn't. We just need to unlock it. He paused, and I know someone who can help. Hunted by shadows, the night was silent, but Rayan didn't trust silence anymore. He sat in the dark corner of the bunker, holding his weapon tight. The lights were off. Only the low hum of hidden machines filled the air. Lyra was asleep in the far room, curled up in a blanket. He hadn't slept. Not after what the drone said before it exploded. Just one word. Recover. Not capture. Not rescue. Just recover. Like she was a broken object. Not a child. Rayan checked the motion sensors again. Nothing outside. But his instincts whispered. They're coming. Lyra woke with a strange feeling. Her chest felt warm. Her ears heard sounds that weren't there. A soft ringing, like distant whispers. She touched her neck and felt something humming inside her skin. She walked into the control room where Rayan sat. He looked up, couldn't sleep. She shook her head. Something's wrong. He studied her. You feel it too. She nodded. Like someone's close. Like there. Watching, Rayan stood and walked to the table. We don't have time. We need to move. I packed supplies. There's a tunnel-load evac route. It'll lead us out of the city. As he spoke, the ground suddenly shook just once, like a deep heartbeat beneath them, then silence. Then the sound came faint at first. Like wind. But it wasn't wind, it was a drone swarm. Hundreds outside, above the bunker. A cloud of black machines floated silently over the city. Small, round, sharp, like insects made of metal. Their red eyes blinked in sync. They didn't need to sieve, they followed heat, pulse, vibration. And Lyra was glowing again. Back in the bunker, Rayan pulled Lyra behind a reinforced wall. They're here. She looked at him, scared. Why do they want me so badly? Because you're not supposed to exist, he said. And because they're afraid of what you might become. Suddenly, A loud crash shook the bunker. The ceiling cracked. Dust fell. One drone broke through. It flew straight at them. Rayan shot once, hit, sparks flew. The drone dropped, but then came more. A full wave burst through the ceiling. Run, Rayan shouted. They ran down the hall. Metal walls echoed with the buzzing of machines. One drone shot a net. Lyra dodged. Another aimed a dart at her back. Time slowed. Her eyes turned silver. She raised her hand. A sudden shockwave blasted from her skin. Like a ripple of air dot, all the drones stopped mid-air then dropped like stones. Silence. Lyra collapsed to her knees. Rayan stared at her. You shut them down, he whispered. How did you do that? I don't know, Lyra said, breathing hard. It just happened. He helped her up. You've got tech inside you. Some kind of defense system, but I didn't control it. It just reacted. That means someone built it to protect you. Lyra looked at him. Then why didn't they protect me from the start? Rayan had no answer. They reached the tunnel entrance. Rayan opened the heavy metal door. Cold air rushed in. It smelled like rust and dust. The tunnel was dark and endless. Stay close, he said. As they walked deeper, the sounds above faded, but something inside the tunnel was waiting. A soft mechanical growl echoed. Rayan aimed his gun forward. We're not alone. A figure appeared from the shadows. Tall, robotic, one red eye. It wasn't a drone. It was a hunter unit, half machine, half human, built for one job: target and terminate. Its voice was cold. Surrender, Subject 9B. Final warning. Rayan stepped forward. You'll have to go through me. I will, it replied. It moved fast. Too fast. Too fast. It punched Rayan back into the wall. Sparks flew. His shoulder armor cracked. Lyra screamed. The hunter turned to her. Her hands started glowing again. This time brighter. The tunnel lit up with white-blue energy. Stay away from me, she shouted. The light burst from her like a wave of fire. The hunter froze. Its circuits sparked. Its red eye blinked rapidly, then died. It dropped to the ground smoking. Rayan stood slowly. That was new. Lyra's hands were shaking. I didn't mean to. You saved us, Rayan said. And I think you're starting to wake up. They walked deeper into the tunnel. Behind them. The hunter's body twitched. Its eye blinked once. Weakly. Then it sent a signal before shutting down. Far away, in a tall black tower. A man in a silver coat stood before a screen. He watched Lyra's face. She's evolving, he said. Behind him, others in suits stood silently. We have to reach her before she remembers everything. He smiled. Because if she does, we're all dead. Secrets of Sector 9. Rayan had seen many strange places in his life. But Sector 9 was something else. It wasn't a place on any map. No lights, no roads. Just a dark zone buried beneath the city ruins, full of broken machines and forgotten tech. People called it the scrapyard of secrets. No one lived there officially, but Rayan knew someone who did. Lyra walked beside him, quiet. Her eyes scanned the strange walls covered in graffiti, symbols, and warning signs. The air smelled like rust, oil, and old electricity. What is this place? She asked. Rayan glanced at her. A ghost city. After the war, they dumped all the illegal tech down here. Weapons, robots, even memory servers. And the people. They dumped some of them too. As they walked deeper, small eyes blinked in the shadows. Drones, not government-made. These were handmade junk mixed with genius. Then a voice echoed from the darkness. Old, rough, almost laughing. I told you never to come back, Rayan. A figure stepped out, thin, wrapped in wires and armor. Half human, half machine. It was Krell, the black market AI hacker. Still breathing, huh? Krell said with a smirk. I need information, Rayan said. Krell looked at Lyra, his metal eye zoomed in. This her, he whispered. The girl from the file. You know about her. I erased her, Krell said. Or tried to. He walked to a glowing console and pulled out a chip. Inserted it into a device. A cracked screen lit up. Words flashed. Project Onlight, classified. Lyra felt a shiver in her chest. What is that? She asked. Krell didn't answer. He opened a file. Images appeared. A lab. Scientists. Children in glass tubes. And Lyra, floating in a tank, wires connected to her back. Lyra stepped away. No, I don't remember this. You weren't born, Krell said. You were made. Genetically designed. Built to survive anything. No sickness, no pain. Just evolution. Rayan stared at the screen. Why? Because the world's dying, Krell said. They needed hope. A weapon. A cure. A leader. No one could agree. So they tried to make all of them. In one, he looked at Lyra. You. A silence fell. Then Krell showed another file. A map. One red dot blinked far from the city. This is where it started, he said. The real lab. It still exists off-grid. Maybe your answers are there. Lyra's voice shook. Do they know I'm alive? Krell looked at her. Not just alive. They think you're waking up. And they're scared. Rayan leaned closer. Why scared? Because if you remember who you really are, you could shut them all down. Suddenly, the screen glitched. A signal was breaking through. Face changed. They found us. Outside, a loud boom shook the ground. Lyra's glow returned. Rayan pulled his weapon. Not again. The ceiling above cracked. Light poured in. Enemy units dropped fast black armor, no faces. Silent. Krell pressed a button. Doors slammed shut. Guns popped out of the walls. He grinned. Let's make some noise. Gunfire lit the shadows. Rayan fought fast. Precise. Lyra stood still. Then her hands rose again. Machine stopped midair. Like time froze, she whispered. No more hurting. A wave of energy shot out soft like light. All enemy units collapsed. Rayan looked at her, stunned. You didn't destroy them, he said. I made them sleep, she replied. Later, the dust settled. Krell handed Rayan a chip. This has all I know. Use it before they wipe it. And the lab? Rayan asked. Find it. Before they do. Lyra looked up. I'm not just running anymore. Rayan nodded. Then we go to the source. They walked into the shadows. Again. But someone was already waiting for them at the end of the road. Far above, inside a floating base, a woman watched the footage of Lyra. She wore a white coat. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sad. She's close. The woman whispered. A man beside her said, Should we activate Protocol 0? No, she replied. Not yet. I need to see her. One more time. The screen zoomed in on Lyra's face. She was my daughter. Before she became their experiment. The memory chipped in years ago. A woman stood in a white lab coat, staring through the glass of a large tank. Inside, a child floated small, peaceful, glowing faintly. The woman placed her hand on the glass. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean for you to be born this way. Behind her, alarms began to ring. Red lights flashed. Voices shouted. They're coming, someone said. But she didn't move. Instead, she placed a small chip inside a black box and whispered, One day, you'll need this. Then she looked at the child one last time and disappeared into the smoke. Now. Lyra sat on a rock beside an old highway, holding something small in her hand. A memory chip. Rayan knelt beside her. You're sure this was in your jacket pocket? Lyra nodded. I didn't even know it was there. The chip had a strange symbol on it, like a rising sun. Project Dawnlight, Rayan said softly. They had escaped. Sector 29. Barely. Krell's chip led them to an abandoned relay station outside the city. Quiet, safe. For now, Rayan pulled out a portable scanner. Let's see what's inside. The chip clicked into the scanner. The screen flickered. Then her face appeared. The woman from the flashback. Lyra gasped. I've seen her before. In dreams. The woman's voice played. If you're watching this, they haven't stopped hunting you. My name is Dr. Elara Venn. I was your mother. You are not a mistake, Lyra. You are hope. Rayan, eyes widened. The voice continued. You were part of something called Project Dawnlight. They said it was for peace. But they lied. They wanted control. Weapons. You were the only one who lived. Lyra's hands trembled. I helped you escape. I erased your memories so they couldn't use you. But now, your power will return. You will start to feel things. Hear voices. See light. That is your mind waking up. And when it does, you must find the sanctuary. The screen showed coordinates deep in the wilderness, far from the city. Then, her last words, I love you. I always did. Please find me. Or at least, find yourself. The screen went dark. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She loved me. Rayan placed a hand on her shoulder. And she gave you a choice. Lyra wiped her face. We go to the sanctuary. Later, as they prepared to leave, Lyra sat alone and closed her eyes. Memories flickered, a soft lullaby, a warm hand, a smile, then screaming fire. Running, she opened her eyes. Breathing hard, something inside her had changed. Her body felt warmer, her mind clearer. like the walls inside her brain were breaking, and behind those walls, something powerful waited. That night, they stayed in the ruins of an old observatory. Lyra couldn't sleep. She stood by a broken telescope, staring at the stars. For the first time, she didn't feel alone. The stars felt familiar. Rayon joined her. "Do you think it's real? This sanctuary?" Lyra nodded. "I don't just think it. I feel it." He smiled. "Then we find it." But just as he turned away, Lyra froze. A whisper echoed inside her mind. "They are coming." She spun around. "Rayon, we need to go now." Miles away, inside a hidden control room, a man in a gray cloak stood before a table of monitors. His voice was like cold glass. "She accessed the memory chip." Another agent nodded. "The sanctuary will be her next move." The man picked up a silver device. "Then, it's time. Activate the seeker." Deep underground, inside a dark chamber, something woke up. A machine. Tall, smooth. No face, no sound, only purpose. It took one step, then another. It began to walk toward the surface. Its target, Lyra. The betray lit was raining again. The sky was quiet. But the storm had already begun inside Lyra's heart. They were camped inside the skeleton of an old skytrain. Rusted walls. Broken glass. The world outside was falling apart, piece by piece. But Rayon and Lyra sat close to a small fire, the last warm thing between them. She looked at him. "Do you think I was ever real?" Rayon didn't answer at first. He stared into the flames, face unreadable. "You are real to me," he finally said. But even as he spoke those words, a small device in his jacket blinked. Someone was calling, and Rayon answered out earlier that day. Rayon had stepped outside to check the signal. He walked far from the camp, too far. Then he stopped under an old tower, pulled out a black box, and whispered, "This is Rayon. I have the girl." The voice on the other end was cold. "You've done well." Rayon's jaw clenched. "I didn't do it for you. You don't have a choice." The voice replied, "You know what's inside you. You know what we installed." Rayon's hand touched a scar under his ribs, a long-forgotten implant, buried deep. "I want out," he said. The voice laughed. "Then give us the girl. Deliver her, and you walk free." Silence. Then Rayon ended the call. Now, Lyra stirred in her sleep. Her dreams were no longer just dreams. They were memories. The lab, the fire, the woman in white, her mother, running hands, a hidden vent, pain, light, escape. She woke with a gasp, and heard whispering. She stepped quietly out of the train car. Rayon stood just beyond the trees, talking to someone on his wrist. She heard her name. Then silence. She didn't say a word. She just walked back inside and sat by the fire. Everything suddenly felt cold. In the morning, Rayon said they had to move. "The sanctuary is close," he told her. Lyra didn't answer. They walked through the dead forest in silence. Birds no longer sang here. Only machines buzzed beneath the soil. Then up ahead in ambush. Out of nowhere, black-clad agents dropped from the trees. Too fast, too many. Lyra turned to Rayon. "You said this place was safe." "I didn't know," he shouted. But she saw the flicker in his eyes. The one that said, "I did." Rayon grabbed her hand and pulled her behind cover. Gunfire cracked the trees. "Why are they here?" she yelled. Rayon didn't answer. Then a voice echoed from above. "Subject 9B, come with us. No harm will come to you." Lyra stood slowly, her hands glowing faintly. Rayon pulled her back. "No, they'll take you apart." She turned to him. "Isn't that what you were about to do?" Rayon's face froze. And in that moment she knew. "You called them." Rayon opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Her voice cracked. "You sold me." "No," he shouted. "I was trying to protect you by handing me over." "They put something inside me," he said. "They said they'd kill me if I didn't." Tears filled her eyes. "You were the only one I trusted." "I chose you," he said. "Even now, I'm standing with you." Behind them, the agents moved in. Lyra closed her eyes, and then let go. The air around her exploded with energy. A shockwave burst in all directions. Trees bent. Agents flew back. Guns shattered. Rayon dropped to one knee, shielding his face. When the light faded, the forest was silent, and Lyra was gone. Far away, Lyra ran alone through the woods. Her heart was pounding. Not from fear. From something else. Power. She was awake now. All of her. She stopped near a cliff, breathing hard. Her eyes glowed brighter than before. Then she looked up. In the distance, a strange light blinked on a mountain. The sanctuary. Back in the forest, Rayon stood among the wreckage. He was alive, but empty. He looked at the communicator in his hand, then crushed it. "She's not yours anymore," he whispered. "She's not anyone's." Then he followed the trail toward the mountain, toward redemption. High above, inside the Seeker's mind, the machine replayed the moment of Lyra's burst of power. It tilted its head, analyzing, calculating. Then it moved fast. The hunt was not over home beyond stars. It didn't look like a home. The sanctuary wasn't a building, or a city, or a lab. It was a mountain, cracked open by time. Hidden inside its heart was light, not the kind from bulbs or machines, but something alive, something breathing. Lyra stood at the entrance, her boots covered in dust, her breath slow and steady. She had walked alone for hours, maybe days. Time didn't feel real anymore, but now she was here. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. "Find the sanctuary, and you'll find yourself inside the mountain." The walls glowed with soft white pulses, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. Lyra stepped carefully. The silence wasn't empty. It felt full of memory, full of truth. She reached a door made of smooth crystal. As she touched it, it responded to her skin, like it knew her. It slid open. Inside, a circular chamber with floating lights, like stars caught in a bubble. And in the center, a pod, a cryo-pod. Inside it was Dr. Elara Venn. Her mother, Rayon, entered quietly from the shadows. His clothes were torn, his eyes tired. But he had found her again. "I followed your trail," he said softly. "I didn't expect to find this." Lyra didn't turn. "This is where she hid me, where she saved me." She stared at the pod. She put herself to sleep, to survive, to wait. Rayon stepped closer. "So she's alive." "Almost," Lyra said. "But the system's damaged. She never wake up on her own." Rayon looked at her glowing hands. "But you can wake her, can't you?" Lyra nodded slowly. "If I try, I might burn out. I don't know what happens after." He looked at her, his voice quiet. "You don't have to do this. She saved me when I had nothing. No name, no memory. She gave up everything for me." She looked at him now. "This is not just about running anymore." He nodded. "Then I stand with you, whatever happens." She smiled gently. "Thank you." But they were not alone. The ground shook. A hum filled the air. The Seeker had arrived. It didn't walk. It floated. Its face was smooth. No eyes, no mouth, just a single point of blue light at the center. It spoke without sound. "Subject 9B, step away. Return to the system." Lyra stood tall. "I'm not yours," the Seeker replied. "Incorrect. You are protocol. You are code. You are ours." Rayon raised his weapon. "You'll have to go through both of us." The Seeker moved. Faster than thought. It struck Rayon hard. He flew across the room, hitting the wall with a thud. Lyra screamed. "No." The Seeker turned to her. Energy pulsed from its body. But Lyra's eyes were glowing like never before. Her feet lifted off the floor. She wasn't just awake. Now she was becoming. The lights in the chamber responded, floating, spinning faster, brighter. She raised her hand. The Seeker attacked. And the two forces, machine and light, collided. The entire mountain shook. The walls cracked. Rayan crawled forward, bleeding, watching in awe in the air. Lyra glowed like a star. The Seeker's voice began to glitch. "She is not protocol." Then it shattered into dust and sparks. Silence. Lyra dropped to her knees, weak but alive. She turned to the cryopod. Her hands trembled. "This is it." She placed both palms on the pod. A wave of white light surged from her. Warm, soft, complete. The pod blinked. Systems restored. Air hissed. The lid opened. Dr. Elara Venn opened her eyes. Mother and daughter face to face for the first time. Lyra whispered, "I found you." Tears rolled down Elara's cheeks. "And I never stopped believing you would." Later, the sanctuary glowed brighter now. The stars inside the chamber began to change, shifting into new shapes. Rayon stood with them, wrapped in bandages, watching. Lyra looked at the sky through the cracked dome. "There are others," she said. "Other children, other tests lost." Hiding. Elara nodded. "Then it's time to find them, to build something better." Rayon smiled. "A home." Lyra reached out, hand glowing again, not from fear, but purpose. Not a weapon, not a subject, not a machine. "I am Lyra. I am light. I am free, and far beyond the stars." A new beacon lit up in the sky, calling others, calling home.